So in reference to how culture and language learning collide using CAL or CMC, I like to focus on StoryCorps. And I just recently found out that they have, StoryCorps has branched off and has this new app. It's reference storycorps.me, and they have a specific activity that's focusing on the weekend, or on Thanksgiving rather. So I'm going to just kind of scroll down, and it's called The Great Listen. The idea is that over Thanksgiving holiday, you're with your family, presumably, or friends, and you simply choose someone to interview. After downloading this app, you find some suggested questions or just any questions you like in any language, and find a quiet place to record and just listen and record history. And then when you finish, you upload it and it goes to the Library of Congress. You can actually share it on this website or on a personal website. And so what they're doing basically is creating an archive of stories that are shared between people that are usually about culture or related specifically to culture. And you can see here a couple, presumably Muslim ladies here, maybe a grandfather and a grandson, and then maybe two friends or lovers perhaps. So anyway, one way this could be used simply, if you go to browse, which I'll do here, you can see some of the posts that they like to put. For example, I've listened to 3 of these, and this first one is very sweet. He, after 2 weeks of meeting this woman while he was in the military, I think off base, he fell in love with her immediately because of his he connects it to his southern sensibilities of finding a good decent woman who can cook southern. And anyway, he asked that they meet for coffee, and 2 weeks later they got married, and they've been happily married for something like 50 years or whatever. And then so anyway, so there's a variety of stories between people, and they're all usually very uplifting, or sometimes sad, or just very eye-opening in general. And what I like about it is that there are a variety of ways to use this website. I'm thinking in the case of a language class, the students can go and search specific ones, let's say about marriage in America. And let's say, for example, you represent a dirty four-letter word. I said that word is love. So oftentimes you'll find spouses reflecting on their lives together, maybe on their 50th anniversary, and discussing what their lives have meant to each other. There's a lot of children talking to parents or grandparents and reflecting on their lives as parents. And then there's some that they have immigration stories that are quite interesting. And for example, let's go about StoryCorps. It's sponsored by some reputable groups, TED being probably the highlight, and how it basically is a very simple idea of sharing one's interactions with those close to you, and then basically uploading it for the world to have a record of and to possibly listen to. Those NPR fans out there, Fridays, at least in the WAMU area, they have a StoryCorps, I think 5-minute segment every Friday, a morning edition. So StoryCorps is pretty amazing tool that can be used for students who are studying English. They can also connect into the culture of this great country and comment on it and use this as a reference point. For teachers, specifically of high school students, high school teachers, there are some guidelines that can kind of help you use this in the classroom. Students generally have to be above 13 years of age. Me teaching middle school, this would not be appropriate. Students are too young. But I've had high school students who actually have participated in this in Grand Central Terminal in New York City in 2003. Ironically, that's when they started. So 12 years later, they're still going strong. So that's a good harbinger of how this company, how this group started, and what their goals are. What else? Yeah, so like I said, if I was learning language, I think this would be a really authentic way to just hear more input about people talking about things that are very important to them. Like I'm highlighting here, marriage in America, or friendship in this country, and how it relates to language, and specifically how learning a language is a kind of a window into that country's culture. Reflecting back on my language learning in Spanish, by learning more and more Spanish and traveling within the Spanish-speaking world, I was able to really dig much, much deeper into their culture by having the tools necessary to inquire about them. So this gives students little entry points into topics such as marriage, friendship, parenting, etc. And there are a whole list of topics if you go to the browse. And I think I will close with that. I think I'm following here. No, following recent. Yeah, so it can be very simple interviews with family members. There's an immigration interview, which might be relevant for a lot of recently immigrated students, and so they can connect with their peers rather, and follow that way. So I hope this has been an eye-opening experience, and I hope you might participate in this. I'm thinking of doing it with my family. All right, all the best. Bye-bye.